What is going on, everybody? Welcome to your 15th iPhone development tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be learning how to create action sheets and alert buttons. So let's go ahead and remember before, whenever we click this button nothing happened, but now check it out. Whenever we click it, this thing pops up, and this is called an action sheet. So what an action sheet is pretty much, well, in all simplicity, it's all it is a choice. So it gives you a title right here and two choices: a cancel button, which we know what that does, cancels out of it, and then another thing that when we click it, in this case, an alert pops up. Now, when you click it, you can pretty much have anything you want to happen, but I decided, since we need to know how to build alerts, I decided to have an alert pop up. And by the way, all an alert is pretty much a prompt that pops up on the screen that all you can click is done. Like, you maybe can use it for like warnings, or just to say hi. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, before we begin, I just want to tell you guys about a couple things. First of all, in the last tutorial I accidentally passed a parameter to this button pressed method, and we don't need that parameter, so go ahead and get rid of that parameter. And also, in your method body, go ahead and get rid of the parameter there as well. And by the way, if you already linked your button and interface builder to this method, go ahead and delete it and link it again. Whenever you change your method, you need to go ahead and relink it in interface builder, or else that object is going to be pointing to the old method instead of the new one. Alright, so now with that being said, hopefully you changed your method header and body and relinked it in interface builder. Now let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we need to do is go ahead and adopt a protocol. Now, I don't know if I taught you guys about protocols in my Objective-C tutorials, but what a protocol is what you do is you put the protocol's name after whatever class you're inheriting from in your interface. And what this does is it gives you a bunch of built-in methods that you can use depending on what the protocol is. So for example, we want some action sheet delegate methods, but we don't want to have to build them ourselves. They're already built-in methods. And check this out, the coolest thing about this is, since you adopted it right here, you don't need to declare the methods right here. It does all of that for you. All you need to do is pretty much build the body for them in your implementation right here. So in order to find out like what their names and stuff are, you need to know what they are. So go ahead and well, you pretty much just need to know them. So if you want to adopt any protocols, then go ahead and look at the Apple documentation and they'll tell you what you just adopted. But anyways, I'll be showing you a sample of this protocol, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then everything will clear up in a minute. But anyways, go ahead and make sure you import this action sheet delegate protocol by putting it in between the less than and greater than signs. And once you do that, you're ready to move on to your implementation. So the first thing that we need to do is go ahead and set an action. Pretty much, what do you want to happen whenever you click this button on the screen? I am a button. Well, before, nothing happened. You just clicked it and it just stood there. But now we want an action sheet to pop up. So what we need to do in order to make this happen is go ahead and create an action sheet. How do you do that? Well, I'll show you. Go ahead and put UI action sheet. Nope, not delegate. UI action sheet, and I'm gonna name mine action sheet and set this equal to, and a bunch of crap is gonna pop up in a second. UI action sheet, and of course we need to allocate some space for it. Now here is all the parameters for the action sheet. In it with title, and trust me, go ahead and press right, and all of these parameters are going to go on forever. So alright, let's go ahead and just take them one at a time. Init by title is pretty much the title of your action sheet, nothing fancy here. So we're going to name my action sheet want to see an alert. Alright, so that's in it with title, pretty much the title of the action sheet, nothing too confusing there. The delegate, now check this out. I don't know if I told you guys before what delegates are or not, but Delegates are pretty much code that runs at certain points of time automatically. So you're saying, why would you want a bit of code to run automatically? Well, sometimes, like whenever you open a program, then the beginning housekeeping code pops up, like the main loop to keep the program running. And whenever you close out of your program, maybe you want something to save automatically. So you would need to delegate these methods. Now, why am I saying? So we know a delegate is pretty much code that runs automatically at a certain point in time. So why do we even need a delegate for the action sheet? Well, check this out. Anytime you either close out of your action sheet or do the other button, that pretty much means the do something button, we want a bit of code to run automatically depending on what you clicked. So we don't want to have to write another method to pass it every time that says, alright, click this, click this. There's already a built-in method that handles your response to your action sheet, and that method was actually included in our protocol right here, so that's why we had to adopt that. And I mean, I sometimes say import a protocol, but the correct term is adopt it, I think. So I'm going to start saying that. So anyways, we're going to be building our delegate method in the next tutorial probably, but for the parameter we have to pass it here is self. Because, I mean, we can put this delegate method anywhere we want, but we're going to be putting it in the same class as this, so that's why we need to pass it self. So anyways, your delegate says, alright, I already have a built-in method to handle this action sheet. Where is that method? And you say it's in the same class as this method. So even though we don't have that method yet, just go ahead and put it self. We'll be building it in the next tutorial. Now, the cancel button title is if you accidentally click action sheet and you want to cancel out of it, what do you want the text to appear on the button? Well, go ahead and make it something simple like cancel, like that. Now the destructive button title, this is one of the worst named thing in Objective-C pretty much. I mean, it makes it sound like pretty much exactly like the cancel button, destructive button, but what the destructive button is actually the button that it means, okay, go ahead. So check this out. If you click button, this action sheet, this method here, yeah, let's see it, this is the destructive button. So I mean, can you name it anything worse? Because I mean, it's indestructive, it actually does something. So I mean, why they named it that, I don't know. It's pretty poorly named, but anyways, for my destructive button, as you just saw, let's go ahead and name it, yeah, let's see it. Because this is the button we're going to click when we want to see our, what's it called, alert box. So the other button titles, you can go ahead and add other buttons to this, but let's go ahead and just add nil, because we don't want any other buttons. So now, this is all the entire method for building the action sheet. I know there's like 1,000 parameters, but that's all you have to do. So after you're done building the action sheet, what you want to do is call two more methods, action sheet show in view, and just go ahead and put self view, because it says where do you want to show it? Well, we want to show it, we only have one view, so show it there. And action sheet release, to release the memory when we're done with it. So pretty much what we learned to do is create an action sheet, show it, and release it. And I'll be going over everything we didn't cover in this tutorial and the next tutorial. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.